The Laken Riley murder, a shocking murder and a warning about immigration loopholes. On the morning of February 22, 2024, a brutal incident occurred at the University of Georgia when 22-year-old nursing student Laken Riley was murdered in a brutal attack right on her familiar jogging path. Laken Hope Riley was born on January 10, 2002, in Marietta, Georgia, to a happy family of parents Jason Riley and Allison Phillips, the eldest of 3 siblings. Laken was always known for being active and outgoing. She graduated from River Ridge High School in 2020, where she was on the cross-country team and distinguished herself for her leadership and sense of responsibility. When she entered Augusta University, Laken pursued nursing, a choice that reflected her dedication and compassion for the community. An active member of the Alpha Chi Omega sorority, she was well-liked by her peers and teachers for her hard work and likable personality. The suspect in the case, Jose Antonio Ibarra, 26, is a Venezuelan who entered the United States illegally in September 2022 through the southern border near El Paso, Texas. After being apprehended by federal authorities at the border, Ibarra was released into the United States. He initially stayed at the Roosevelt Hotel Migrant Shelter in New York before flying to Georgia. University of Georgia, UGA, police said Ibarra lived in an apartment complex about a mile from the wooded area where Laken Riley's body was found. Ibarra had previously been arrested by federal and state authorities in various locations. However, attempts to detain him failed due to administrative errors. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, said it missed an opportunity to detain Ibarra after an arrest in New York, when he was released before the detainer could take effect. Ibarra was also issued a warrant for his arrest in December 2023 after failing to appear in court in connection with a petty theft case in Georgia. In addition, according to a February 2024 CNN report, Ibarra was arrested by New York City police the previous September on charges of injury to a child under 17 and a driver's license violation. However, he was released again before ICE could issue a detainer. On November 18, 2024, the New York Times reported that New York authorities had inadvertently assisted Ibarra in moving to Georgia. According to witnesses, in October 2023, Ibarra and her brother, believed to be members of the Tren de Aragua gang, a dangerous criminal organization in Venezuela, were arrested by Athens police for theft. Both were accused of possessing stolen goods from a local Walmart. However, they were released without further charges. According to prosecutors, Jose Ibarra had been hunting for female students on campus. At around 9:03 a.m., Laken went for a jog as usual, her image captured by her home's doorbell camera. Within 10 minutes, a 911 call was placed from her phone, with birds chirping and footsteps recorded. From data from Laken's smartwatch, investigators were able to determine, at 9:10 a.m., she stopped and activated the SOS emergency function. Just 18 minutes later, her heart stopped. Her body was found at 12:38 p.m. behind Lake Herrick in the park. The medical examiner's report listed the cause of death as blunt force trauma and asphyxiation, raising suspicions of a targeted attack. Police described it as a crime of opportunity and confirmed that the perpetrator acted alone. Police found a jacket with Riley's hair in it in a trash can near Ibarra's apartment. Surveillance footage showed Ibarra discarding the jacket, and his roommate confirmed the action. When questioned, Ibarra showed signs of trauma on his hands, with scratches and red knuckles. Authorities found Ibarra's DNA under Laken's right fingernails. His fingerprints were found on the victim's phone. Ibarra's body also bore scratches from Laken's resistance. In early May, a grand jury returned an indictment charging Jose Ibarra with murder and aggravated assault. Additional charges in the 10-count indictment include aggravated assault, kidnapping with bodily injury, aggravated assault with intent to commit rape, obstructing or interfering with an emergency caller, and tampering with evidence. The latter charge alleges that he knowingly concealed evidence, a jacket and gloves, related to the malice murder. He was also charged with peeping. The indictment alleges that on the same day Riley was killed, he peeped through the window of another person who lived in an on-campus apartment. According to an affidavit from an FBI agent who analyzed data from a cell phone seized from the apartment where Ibarra lived with his 2 brothers and 2 others, Ibarra took a selfie of himself early in the day Riley was killed. In the photo, Ibarra is wearing a black Adidas baseball cap and a jacket dark hood. Hours before Riley was killed, a man wearing a black Adidas baseball cap was captured on surveillance video at the door of a first-floor apartment in a University of Georgia housing complex. A graduate student who lived there testified Monday that she heard someone trying to enter her apartment while she was showering. When she looked through the peephole, the person ducked and walked away. But then she saw the same person looking into her window. She said, using grainy screenshots from surveillance video, police approached a man wearing a black Adidas cap the day after the killing. It turned out to be Diego Ibarra, one of Jose Ibarra's brothers. Ibarra was arrested on February 23rd and initially charged with premeditated murder, felony murder, aggravated assault, aggravated battery, false imprisonment, kidnapping, interfering with a 911 call, and concealing the death of another person. He was denied bail and is being held in the Clark County Jail. His arraignment was set for May 8th, but he pleaded not guilty and opted for a jury trial instead of a jury trial, which is set to begin on November 15th, 2024. The district attorney has said he will seek a life sentence without the possibility of parole. They argued that the seriousness of the crime and the danger the suspect poses to the community do not warrant consideration of bail. Ibarra's defense has tried to counter that the evidence is circumstantial and not direct enough to convict their client. They also argued that the excessive media attention could affect the fairness of the trial, but their request for a change of venue was denied by Judge H. Patrick Haggard. The prosecution argues that the evidence is compelling, with prosecutors seeking a life sentence without parole. The case became a tense legal battle that captured national attention. The murder of Laken Riley sparked a debate over immigration policy in the United States. ICE was criticized for failing to detain Ibarra during previous arrests, and the legal system was criticized for failing to protect citizens. On March 7, 2024, Congress passed the Laken Riley Act, which requires federal detention of immigrants who commit crimes related to theft or endangerment. Laken's story was also mentioned in speeches by both President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump, becoming a symbol of heated political debates. Laken's family and friends held an emotional funeral service on March 1, 2024, at Woodstock City Church, before she was buried at Enon Cemetery in Woodstock, Georgia. A memorial was erected at Lake Herrick, where she was murdered, as a reminder of the tragedy and the great loss. Her family also established the Laken Hope Riley Foundation to support charitable causes and honor the memory of a talented, compassionate young woman. She will always live in our hearts, her stepfather said through tears. The Laken Riley case is a stark reminder of the dangers lurking in our community. It is not only a family tragedy, but also raises big questions about social responsibility and the effectiveness of the legal system. Ibarra's trial is not only about seeking justice for Riley, but also about sending a strong message about protecting safety and fairness for all citizens.